Gap or GIP or something, right? Anyway, these are 5, but they said they are more than 100. Now, the unarmed part of the unofficial terrorists are where you have a Sheikh Osama bin Gumi, for example, okay? Where you have what's that guy's name again? That Tukor guy, Nama Abimana Tukor, that guy, the publisher of Herald newspaper, the one that they said is behind the Kaduna Abuja train attack, the terrorist attack. Mana or something, that is his name. Then you also have the part which is that of the Fulani, they call them the Miyeti Allah. They are partly armed, but mostly, media. The official terror group in Nigeria start with the Presidency of Nigeria, your service chief, which is the hierarchy, the command of the Nigerian military, which includes the Air Force, the Navy, and the Coast, all of that, even the police. These are sort of the weapons fashioned against Nigerians officially. Okay, so the military are conducting internally sanctioned official genocide, ethnic cleansing. They are giving it different names, okay? But here is where I'm going with all of this. So Nigeria, as a contraption that is supposed to have laws that deals with terrorists, in a way, the most terrorized region where the terrorists they are capable, well, they have done it. They're capable of shooting down the military fighter jets. Yes, they were able to do all of that. And most of the time, like I said, when they fight themselves and eliminate themselves over territories, it's not just about kidnapping the people and collecting ransoms. Now we know that the ungoverned areas that the government have gazetted and said these areas in this state, that area in this state, in that state, these areas, they are ungoverned area. You will never see Nigerian authorities there. Military, police, DSS, no, they will never go there. They are ungoverned areas. But guess what are those things in those ungoverned areas? It's not just, they're not just lands. These guys are sitting over mines. I'm talking about like minefields. Okay, not minefields, because land mine is different from this. I'm talking about, well, minefields, of course. Yeah, minefields, where they are digging all kinds of raw materials, mineral resources, right, that are being shipped out of Nigeria from those ungoverned areas. So when the terrorists fight themselves or kill themselves, they are not doing so because they are paid to do so. No, no, no. They are fighting over the control of those areas. And those areas right now in Nigeria are called ungoverned areas. They lied to us that the reasons why the terrorism, they didn't call it terrorism at the time. If you remember, they were calling it farmers' adverse clashes. And one of the things they said was that climate change was affecting the northern part of Nigeria, that people couldn't go to farm and they couldn't even water their cows. You know, that was the beginning of this old terrorism in Nigeria. We did not know that it was actually the jihad for mineral resources, and the armed guys and those ones who are not armed in government, paving way for them, covering them, ensuring that they can continue to claim that they are repentant terrorists. Why the act of or business of terrorism continue to flourish in Nigeria as well? You know, the reason is simply because not only the armed terrorists who are doing all of this, that are capable of all of this, including the unarmed terrorists, the elected, you call them selected or elected criminals in your government, paving ways for them and maintaining that, okay? So it is not just about the land. I think it is mostly about what is under the land or in the land in most cases. So you have this act of terror there in Nigeria, but there is no law that is going to deal with, with them as terrorists. But they have laws, that same terrorism law. They can tell you that cyberbullying is a treasonable felony in Nigeria. What I am doing right now is a treasonable felony in Nigeria, by letting people know that their system is a system that pardons terrorists and jail activists, because they believe that the terrorists are better than those who are calling and awakening the people that before you get killed or slaughtered in the hands of these criminals who are intentionally making sure that that place is not working and it's never going to work for you. If you wait to die, well, you will die, but it won't be your own choice of death. It could be a very violent one that you have no real control over, and it may be too late. If you don't stop these criminals, they will never stop. That is a treasonable offense in Nigeria. Than me carrying AK-47 and call some young people who have the expertise in shooting. I'm talking about those who are ready and willing to live their lives on a drug 24/7. And yes, kill anything just to prove a point. Be scary, spread fear. And then you will see people that would speak on your behalf that we are just fighting because we did not go to school, because they did not build hospital for us. We are young and we have no job. That is why we pick up AK-47. Then we might be forgiven. But don't try it if you are from the southern part of Nigeria, because that's another thing. Intentionally, they are using Nigeria to fund act of terror. The act of terror is paying them so much that there is so much cover-up, so many cover-up that they publicly say, we do not want the military to come to our place and flush out these terrorists. We do not want to. What are they covering? What are they kind of preventing the world to see? Because most of the minerals, the illegal mining going on in northern Nigeria, the illegal mining going on in southern Nigeria, these have now been hijacked by a kind of a group of terrorists who have serious political establishment. They are moving in guns because the Nigerian customs, the Nigerian immigration, those who are really supposed to do their job in protecting you and me, have been so compromised that you are all now in the hands of criminals. So here we go. They have that up north. And Bokwari that said the reason why this whole thing started was because there was no water, did not invest a dime. He actually promised them to give them water by building an irrigation system across northern Nigeria, recover Lake Chad. How many of you remember when Bokwari was talking about Lake Chad, how they were going to rejuvenate Lake Chad, how they are going to rebuild it and reduce the immigration of the Janjaweed into Nigeria? But we did not know. All of that was for cover-up. At a point, Bokwari changed his mind, or should I say, he changed the agenda from providing water for the people of the Sahel to looking for oil in Bauchi. And he wasted over $2 billion of Nigeria money that Nigeria didn't have. $2 billion drilling, only to drill borehole. Now, the water they found in the borehole, whether it is drinkable or not, that is $2 billion borehole. And they called it oil rig in Bauchi. How come they have not begun to explore crude oil from that part? Or are they telling you that they are reserving it? Or the scam is over, right? So the agenda is pretty much not about giving them or developing the north or developing anywhere. It is just to use wherever you can, whenever you can, push yours, take advantage, and at the end of the day, just tell them that you thought it's doable, but it's no longer doable. And that's what Nigeria is before you become another victim. But this is probably not what it is to the likes of Devil Umahi, because according to him, God told him that whatever this is, whether you love to endure or not, he said God told him this is going to last for 8 years because Tinubu is doing a lot of miracle. Amen.
Jay, let me first tell you that you call me a pastor. I'm also a prophet, and you must know that the coming on board of Mr. President is divine. And when God starts a thing, he completes it. So I strongly believe, and I'm persuaded to let you know that God told me that this administration will last 8 years. And because this administration is one of God, and you can see the miracles that Mr. President is doing. through the inspiration of God Almighty, who brought him to right all the wrongs and reset this country. So we take him back this country. He will give him back this country to Nigerians, and that's simply what Mr. President has come to do. And so we are just there to support him. The question you're asking about the concrete technology, I'm very happy that the National Assembly members, there were some of them very critical of the technology of concrete, and I took them through what high tech. And for me, high tech has come to be the number one, construction company in Nigeria. And you can take me on.
Nuisance Lele.
I know he's a sycophant, okay? That's what they do. Even if you listen to Wiki as well, as leakers, kind of at a different level. But you know something? That is what will take me to the next thing I am about to say. And that is, I don't know if it is just me or we are many that have sort of observed this. Don't you think Nigerian elite, including the political elite, or their elites generally, don't you think they are probably the shittiest in the world? Do you want me to explain that, right? Okay. Like, when you look at their business community, all right, you will see that Nigeria prides itself as a country with Nigerian aristocrats, businessmen and women, international, kind of like, Nigeria prides itself of that. Oh, this international bank, oh, international this, that. And then you see a lot of them who are actually like, a lot of you know them, right? They say, oh, this one is a billionaire. He's a real estate mogul. Oh, this one is a man, yeah. And then you look at Nigeria, okay? You will see that this elite, as they call themselves, these thinking people call themselves elite in Nigeria, they are supposed to be those who hold the political power, the economic power, and these are power that could make a country work. You understand what I mean? But look at Nigeria. Some of you jump up. So person is now one of the richest people in the world. Yes, Nigeria is rich. That is rich. There are some of you that will beat your chest and say, there are people who are richer than this one, who is richer than that, richer than Keniko. They cannot tell you their wealth. Most of these wealth are stolen, they are stolen. But look at Nigeria from Mina to Otuoke, from Otuoke to Abeokuta, even to Iragbiji, or Ado, or Makodi. Stop buying Daura. Look around, some of these rich guys all over the place. They are the friends of the guys who make decisions. Powerful decisions. Important ones. But they are comfortable. Being the richest, the better, and the blah in the poverty capital of the world. Don't you think Nigerian elites are the shittiest you can come about? Like you will say, okay, your wealth, whether your wealth is that of money or your wealth is that of political will. I mean, if you cannot benefit everybody, shouldn't you be able to sort of, politically benefit the people who come from that area where your own fair share of the national cake is so huge that every presence of yours, you know what I mean? Like, without, I mean, I don't know. I know, I do know. I'm just like, I have no why reason. I mean, why they all brag about being able, you know, whatever it is that it is the most expensive automobiles in any part of the world, you'll find them in Nigeria. Right? Whatever it is, like, come on. What is that the billionaires in the world play around with or play about with? They're just piece of cake in Nigeria too. But that is the poverty capital of the world, where the minimum wage is just 30,000 naira, yeah? And by their exchange and their value, that's just $15. Come on. A country that cannot provide 24 hours electricity for our citizens after 62 years or 63 years of independence. Abba. We continue to shun out people that wanted to grace the front page of Oxford Prospectus, 2024 Oxford Prospectus magazine, Nigerian mogul. For example, could you even believe that somebody like Elumelu, Tony Elumelu, the owner of UBA and so many other things that makes him one of the billionaires in Nigeria, is making money from a space or a place where, if you have to look deeper, where they are making their money from crude oil, okay? And himself and his associates. I think that's the clip. I have it. They make the money there, and then they want to impress their supposed imperial masters. So they will go to Nigeria, and you see them, they will donate. I'm donating 20 million naira to the students. I'm donating 10 million naira. And they will tell you, I have donated over 500 million naira to different schools in the last 2 years for charity. And then when you open the book and say, well, you gave the Oxford University alumni of Oxford, not even Oxford, it's just carrying you. May they know, say they don't arrive. So they will go back to places where they went on to, where they are forging their CV then. So where they went for their usual 2 weeks or 3 weeks courses that will now turn them to PhD. They will say they are doctor this, doctor that, where they are building their fake profiles that makes them elite in Nigeria. All right. So then they will go back to those places so that the school can notice them. They will now say, oh, Department of Aluminium, Africa Aluminium, Oxford University. Elumelu Foundation has donated 2.5 million pounds. And also, Elumelu Foundation has donated, Dangote Foundation has donated $3 million to Harvard University of Politics. When you convert the money they gave there to go and buy attention so that they can, when they are writing about them, so that they can say, oh, I'm also an alumni of Oxford. I'm a very good donor and generous donor there. I support education. If you go to and the rest of that. So when they buy all of that, so that they can go back to Nigeria and say, look at me, I was with the VC of Oxford. Last week I spoke with him and I said, I'm coming to come and make the biggest donation made by any African. I'm donating $50 million. Here you get. But they will go back to that shithole where they can drive their $billion, well, maybe not dollars, well, multi-million dollars worth of automobiles. And they will fly in their multi-million dollar worth of private jets into the shithole, make whatever they can take from there, even when their friends are making difficult, terrible, well, most of the time when they make all those terrible policies or political decisions, okay, they are making them to favor them. So why should they complain? Like, why would they complain? Because they are selfish. They are stinking, they are shite. So when you see Nigerian elite that is comfortable, tells you, there's nothing you can do. Well, I'm happy that my own generations can never even suffer, even if Nigeria is blah, 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 blah. We have people who have that mentality because according to them, they will always be part of the system one way or the other. And whatever it is going to be their worry, the system is going to take care of that. So we need to change that by making you understand that, you see, the comfort of few for the discomfort of many is still the discomfort for all. Sure, you understand kind of thing. So yes, and here talking about the elites, they are also the people behind shorting your Nigeria currency. They are the people who are doing the insider trading where they are doing round tripping, back end, corrupt monetary policies to favor few people. You see, when the central bank governor says, oh, we have some money and we want to cut down the exchange rates. So we just want you to know, if you need anything now, you need to put in your request to before the old supply is over. Here you get, because those who don't get time, now they are own this thing, you know, especially those of you that do legal businesses, okay, you won't know because it is called insider trading for a reason. You just wake up, $1 to Naira is 1,900 Naira now, and there you are, struggling to get that. But before it gets to 1,900, these rogues, who knows that it's going to be scarce soon, they will tell themselves, mop everything up. They'll call themselves, they offer themselves these dollars for free, cheaply. Because at the end of the day, when the economic consequences of it boomerang, it's not going to be on them. It's going to be on you. That's where you have the economic austerity. Austerity is where they tell you that they have to cut down this, they have to cut down that. Things will have to go up for a while. But you know, when things goes up in Nigeria, they don't calm down. There is a reason for that. So, like I said, thinking elite in Nigeria, thinking dirtiest, greedy, selfish elite in Nigeria, and their criminally corrupt, crooked friends in political offices, right? The two of them, they have ensured that, you see, the entire system is flooded, okay, with enough confusion. The citizens are confused. Number one, confused about their identity. Who is a Nigerian? Oh, everybody, all of you, who are the Yorubas here? Raise up your hand. Who are the Igbos here? Who are the Hausas? Who are the BBOs, the Fulanis, the Jaws? Here, raise up your hand. But when we say, who is a Nigerian here? I bet you, half of those of you who raise up your hand when your nation was called, you will keep that hand. I actually know a lot of us that won't raise up our hand when you say, oh yeah, Nigerian, raise up your hands. You just kind of be like, okay, let's move on, Mayegun, please. We get the message, kind of, here you get. So to a lot of us, we believe that the elite in Nigeria are selfish and their crooked friends in power who indeed, are corrupt and in most cases believe that they are heartless too. That is why they do not have any sort of a human feeling except when they are faking it, kind of. So that will then take me to this next one. They are the people selling dollars, shorting at it, shortchanging the economy, and at the same time keeping it completely unassailable, unsustainable. But their greed is not slowing down, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, come on. These elites were part of those who helped the roads in government when they were printing money. I mean, the money just disappeared. Do you think the politicians just put all the money in a bag and they just said, put them on a plane and they just left Nigeria? No. The criminal bankers who are also going to come around and say they are doing a foundation, they are doing a charity, and the rest of that, the people who facilitated the disappearance of over 50 trillion naira. Baba, over 50 trillion naira unaccounted for. I'll tell you, no joke. Because according to them, yeah, Emefiole printed 27 trillion naira plus 3 trillion naira interest because